Party people, get ready to party. It's 10 at 10 time. I'm Tim.
We're gonna try not to say guys so much this show. So all you human beings out there, get ready for this one. We got a great 10 at 10 for you. It's another Thursday drop, y'all. We're bringing back the Thursdays. I'm Matt, maybe the best Thursday drop ever. This is for Thursday, July 13th of 2023.
So smash that like button. If you're on our live chat, we really appreciate y'all. Even if you're an international community, thank y'all so much for watching. But all these trees are dropping today. That's July 13th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're actually gonna talk about 13 of the 20 trees getting listed today. The other 7 you can check out in our email. If you sign up for our weekly emails, you get an email about the same time this video drops, and you can check out the full listing of the trees that are getting listed that day.
All right, Homo sapiens, check this one out. First on the table, we got Acer shirasawanum Sunny.
Guys, Sunny, oh, I said got it. Oh, Sunny has that bright orange color in the early spring, and then it goes to this yellow. It's an amazing yellow. Yeah, you can do the yellow dance, but this thing here is amazing. It's basically like a Jordan with more spring interest.
I love this one in the spring. The early spring, especially if you can give this one a little bit more sun, you can pick up that color. You can actually get this one to be a little bit more of a bright orange coloration, which really shows out. It does share a lot of similarities with Jordan and that vigor. It is a Jordan seedling, but I think what really sets it apart is that bold, bold orange in the early spring.
Yeah, this tree is simply amazing. Sunny, it'll add some sunshine to your life.
All right, folks, let's see what we got next.
This is Acer palmatum, Lillian's Jewel. Coming back to the 10 at 10 because this is a crowd favorite. This is one of my favorite red on pink variegated Japanese maples.
Oh, this is a showstopper. This pairs really well with Sunny. I mean, those bold neon pinks over top of red. It's probably the most stable pink on red Japanese maple of them all, especially for this style. Now, there's lots of stable styles. This one does outperform Rainbow, Fujinami Nishiki, and several of that bright pink on red. You can't say enough nice things about Lillian's Jewel. Really shows out, and it's one of those quintessential collector piece trees.
This tree is often mislabeled as Little Annie's Jewel or Extravaganza. The correct name is Lillian's Jewel. This is by far one of the most showstopper pieces you can add to your garden to give you some red color and pink and white variegation. It's pretty spectacular.
All right, party people. Next up, we've got Benny Hoshi.
Benny Hoshi, also known as Ruby Stars.
Actually named at the same nursery as Lillian's Jewel.
It is. It was named by and introduced by Del Laux. This is a nice dwarf Japanese maple with a nice conical habit. Stays pretty tight and dense. These little rubies turn to a star golden yellow to orange in the fall.
Oh, that is one of my favorite things about this. Not only is it an exceptional dwarf red, this tree goes from this bold red to a golden yellow to orange in the fall, giving it some really interesting color changes. Benny Hoshi actually translates as Ruby Stars. So if you see the cultivar Ruby Stars, likely the same thing. Some people will tell you they're not, but those people are wrong. Awesome tree here, Benny Hoshi.
Amazing little dwarf. Excellent for containers. It's one of the Japanese maples my dad started growing, and because of that, I've got a special spot for that one in my heart.
We're hitting all the Del Laux introductions. Next up on the table, we've got Akakawa Hime. Go check out our video on Del's nursery. We talk a little bit about Del Laux and that family and some of their cool plants. Akakawa Hime, another hit by them.
Aka meaning deep red, Kawa meaning bark, and Hime meaning dwarf compact, sometimes referred to as princess. So we got red bark princess right here. This is an excellent winter interest Japanese maple, bright red bark, good yellow fall color. It's a dwarf Sangukaku, guys.
Really nice in that mid-size range. Typically this one's around 6 to 8 feet, even in 15 years, giving it a much smaller footprint in the garden than something like Benikawa or Sangukaku, but giving you a very similar aesthetic. Some would even say this one has brighter red bark than Sangukaku.
It is pretty spectacular. You do want to give some sunlight to this, and sunlight and that winter temperature change actually increases the bark color on this. So if you put this in the shade and you're keeping this tree hot and not letting it get to that cold temperature, you're not going to get the same bark color as you would with giving it sunlight and some cooler weather.
Sunlight and water, real important to plants. What do we got next?
Y'all, we got Acer palmatum, Kernan Ijishi, the red lion's head Japanese maple. It's back on MrMaple.
Named by Yano-san himself at World Maple Park. This was found by a friend of his. Kernan Ijishi is an excellent tree for bonsai, container gardening, fairy gardening, railroad gardening, or just gardening. This is a tree you need in your collection.
It's greened up a little bit this time of the season, but in the springtime, it gives you a nice brick red color, and it has that twisting foliage, just like people say the lion's head Japanese maple. It's a very popular tree among collectors. It's a very popular tree among anyone who learns about this plant because it is a showstopper with that bright red color.
It shows out all year. You're going to want to add Kernan Ijishi to your collection. Definitely go check out our video on the lion family. We break down a bunch of different ones in that mix, and Kernan Ijishi may be the most popular of them all.
Could be.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fans of all ages, what do we got here next?
La Diabla, the devil woman. Guys,
I think it means devil chicken.
No, it means devil woman. This is an amazing spring interest tree. First time ever getting dropped on MrMaple.com. This tree in the spring is like a bright orange red, like a fiery red. And that's where it gets the name of La Diabla.
I believe you're quoting Cal Norton Jr. a little wrong from Talladega Nights. He says that La Diabla means devil chicken.
It does not.
Love this tree. Colors are crazy on this. You're really going to get a showstopper. Pair this against things like the Sojo, Mila, Phoenix, all of those high intensity spring interest trees. La Diabla brings it.
Y'all, this is a tree. I about said it. Y'all, this tree is amazing with that spring color, and it brings it. Basically think about like Winayama, but then you turn it more orangey red. Like you just turn that knob on color contrast, except this is real life. There's no Photoshop needed. This tree brings the heat in that early spring, and brand new selection, first time getting dropped here on Mr. Maple, and you're gonna love this plant.
This one's one of the Maple Mafia. I think they're gonna be heavily after this one.
Is this another tree getting...
Another new introduction, never before released. You might have seen one of these at open house, wasn't available. We've got Van Essen's Gold.
Van Essen's Gold has this golden color new growth. It's got a Matsumuri leaf, a nice upright habit, and it goes yellows to oranges in the fall. This leaf is just so crisp though. It's very heavily serrated, and it's got that heavy Matsumuri style foliage to it.
Yeah, this one is another upright that has lace leaf vibes. So it's not truly an upright like Seryu. It's so heavily Matsumuri that it might as well be though. And you get some golden yellow new growth, making this one extremely unique.
Guys, let's get XL. Time to get XL.
You said guys. What do we got over here?
Over here, we got a 7-gallon Quercus, rubra, Greg's Variegated.
Woo.
We're bringing you 7-gallon Quercus rubra, Greg's Variegated. This is a variegated red oak named by Talon Buchholz, found by a guy named Greg. This thing is spectacular.
I don't know who Greg was, but he's got a heck of an oak, man. I see Corbin behind the camera. He's already going, let's go. Let's switch over to the other side of the table. We've got another 7 to 8 gallon. We're dropping Amber Ghost in some giant sizes, y'all. Amber Ghost up here, rarely seen available at this size. You know, these are close to 5.5 to 6 foot. If I'm standing next to it and they're this size, I'm 6'2". Excellent sizes.
Amber Ghost, a selection by Talon Buchholz. Part of his Ghost series, it has some amber hues in the early spring.
You may have heard of it.
It fades to that reticulated style variegation. That means you see the veins in the leaf where they're just, the veins stick out. They're different colors than the rest of the leaf. It's pretty spectacular. It's one of those things that just has that eerie kind of vibes, and that's where it gets the name of Amber Ghost. This is, by some accounts, one of the best of the Ghost series.
I'll go ahead and tell you, Amber Ghost is my favorite of the OG Ghost.
The fall color on this is a bright orangey fiery red, and it is electric in the fall. So it's a good heat tolerant tree. It's a good tree in the spring. I mean, all throughout the season, this thing keeps changing, but it keeps putting on a show. All right, so next we've got a 2-gallon Acer japonicum Vitifolium.
We're bringing the japonicums. Vitifolium is a very fun one for that large foliage. If you can give it some late day shade, you can get dinner plate size foliage on this one. Outstanding palette for that fall color too. Reds, yellows, and oranges all at the same time on Vitifolium. This is one that's really going to stand out and just give you some amazing, almost tropical vibes in the garden.
Vitifolium is a classic japonicum. It's one of the OG japonicums that came into the United States. It has one of those Latin names, so that means it came to Japan from Europe, and then Europe to the United States. But these leaves just get ginormous. And that ginormous leaf displays some amazing ginormous fall color. I mean, this thing just rocks it in the fall. If you want a tree for fall color, Vitifolium is an amazing plant to choose.
All right, y'all, check this out. I got you a pendulous ginkgo over here in a 2-gallon. This is Ginkgo biloba Pendula.
Hoo-wee! Now, Ginkgo biloba Pendula has these lateral branches that arch downward slightly. It really has a lot of horizontal growth to it. Still gives you that bright school bus yellow fall color you love with ginkgos. Give ginkgos lime. They want garden lime. Throw a couple handfuls at the base when this tree is getting established. That allows this plant to take up water, nutrients, and fertilizer more efficiently.
Ginkgos are so durable. They're salt tolerant, they're sun tolerant, they're cold tolerant. This will grow almost anywhere in the United States. I love the shape on this thing. You know, it's not something that's going to be extremely weeping in the essence of like a lace leaf Japanese maple, but you're going to put on a ton of low horizontal width that I really think gives this one an amazing shape. Don't forget, you're still going to get that classic golden yellow ginkgo color.
For a ginkgo, the habit on this is crazy. And because of that, this is one that is really fun to have out in your garden because it breaks the mold of what people think of as a ginkgo tree. Add Ginkgo biloba Pendula, you're going to love it. Let's finish off the 10 at 10 with some Subuldianums, Matt.
There's some killer ones here. On my side, I've got a variegated 2-gallon Subuldianum, Kumoi Nishiki. This is that variegated Subuldianum. It really brings it.
Kumoi Nishiki, that's one of the newer selections from Japan that has white swirls, like a creamy white swirl on a green foliage Acer Subuldianum. Give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun. This is a tree that's very unique and very different. It's one of the few trees that have that full moon style foliage with a very stable variegation.
Awesome plant to be growing.
On my side, I've got Acer Subuldianum Soda no Uchi.
This thing is incredible. This is a Subuldianum. It actually has kind of a cupped up look to it, giving it a very regal appearance in the garden. Great reds to oranges in the fall, and just exceptional overall tree. Now, Subuldianums will actually get a little bit of this hairy look to them in the early spring. We call it pubescence on Japanese maples, and it actually gets a little feathery look to it.
Yeah, and Subuldianum Soda no Uchi, this plant is in the nursery trade so much as Subuldianum. It has some of that hairiness to it, but it's actually, in Japan, they actually call this a tenuifolium. And so some people say it's a tenuifolium, some people say it's a Acer Subuldianum. Guys, whatever you think about this tree, it has really small, very nicely serrated foliage that makes a nice mid-sized tree with some bold orange fall color. And this makes it a great mid-sized tree to use in the landscape with small rounded foliage like a full moon Japanese maple.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Maple Mafia of all ages, we appreciate you tuning in today. And if we did well, make sure to ring that bell and subscribe to our channel. You'll know every time we post. We've been dropping these surprise Thursday 10 at 10s, doubling up a little bit. I hope you've been enjoying the selection we've been dropping. We're still doing our 1 of 1 sale. There are hourly plants going off here on Mr. Maple and our limited availability sale. Sometimes those are only 1s and 2s, so I apologize if they sell out quickly because they often do. Be ready at the first of the hour. We drop those from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. East Coast time.
Y'all, don't miss out on today's 10 at 10. We're putting out some killer trees. There's 7 other cool trees that didn't make it to the table. I mean, I was just riding around grabbing trees saying, all right, here's a good one for the 10 at 10. 7 trees didn't make it to the 10 at 10. They're amazing. Check it out in the email. Check it out at 10 a.m. on MrMaple.com. And remember to check out fast because when you add it to your cart, it doesn't save it for you until you complete that checkout process. We really appreciate all y'all out there. Y'all have been such great fans. Remember to shop with us on MrMaple.com.
Thanks so much for watching.
Take care.
God bless.
And have an awesome, awesome, awesome day.